Well. Here we are again. So, I'm going to just first start this out by saying last night I took my wife to go see I, Tonya. And that shit was wild. I recommend it for anyone who would like to see some interesting stuff. I was born in the 90s, so I don't remember the whole Tonya Harding thing or the ice skating incident or anything like that, so it was pretty wild to see it on a big screen. Margot Robbie is an incredible actress, and so is the lady who plays her mother in the movie. I cannot remember her name offhand, so oh well, but definitely go see that if you had any interest. I thought it was pretty good. But anyway, on to the real matter of business. I am back with another episode of my podcast. And I appreciate you if you're listening right now. Obviously that you've enjoyed the first couple episodes to some extent to keep you coming back. And this week, I am not going to disappoint. I sat down with a buddy of mine by the name of Khama Worthy. Khama Worthy is a professional MMA fighter, born and raised in Pittsburgh, PA, and he has an awesome story. From growing up in a house full of children and being homeschooled his entire life, going through kind of how that is for someone. I mean, I feel that high school is a big staple in people's lives. It was for me, at least. Going to school definitely put me through some experiences in life that have made me a better person. They might have sucked in that moment, but I feel it's stuff that people grow from, you know, all the high school drama and all that bullshit. But it's wild to hear about someone who didn't have the same experiences. So I feel it's an interesting conversation. Like I said, he's a professional mixed martial arts fighter, so he does that wild-ass shit you see in the cage where people beat the shit out of each other. For anyone who doesn't know what the UFC or Bellator or any of the fighting organizations are. But I am a fan. I've been a fan for many years now, and I've known Khama for many years. He is a great person, and I mean, the dude's badass, and you would never know because he's just a hilarious guy. We had a real good talk about his life, and we talked about some awesome stuff. And this is episode 4 of the I'll Call You Right Back podcast with Khama Worthy.
I gotta use the telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. Call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast. All right. So, how have you been? It's been a few years since I've seen you.
Yeah, I've been busy, man. Like just working, training.
Yeah.
Working, training. That's
So we're in the academy now?
Yeah, the academy. I mean, like, I actually wanted to name it Dream, because that's always the name I wanted to name, like my gym that I eventually opened up. Mm-hmm. And my little brother was like, "Yo, that's ridiculous." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "If you change the name like 3 times in 2.5 years," he goes, "the gym will lose its like credibility."
Yeah.
He's like, because it will go from Fight Club Pittsburgh to March Sugar, Martial Arts, to Dream. He's like, "Dude, it's just too much jumping around and stuff." So I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense."
Yeah.
So I just, like, you know, since Mark was no longer here, I just took his name off and just left it as the Academy. I was like, I guess that's...
Yeah.
And it's kind of catchy, too.
The
like,
Academy is a good name.
yeah,
Like, it's definitely a good
different.
name. I like it.
You come in and get educated.
Yeah, educated.
My girl
That's
actually thought of that.
That's the first thing I think of. It's like the
Yeah.
Academy, you're going to classes to get educated. But, so, let's start or go from the beginning, like, introduce yourself.
My name is Khama Worthy. I am a professional MMA fighter. I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm vegetarian, and I like music and movies, and cool shit like that.
That's good. That's good right there. So you said you grew up in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Okay, where'd you grow up at?
Moon Township.
Moon Township.
Moon Township, right out there, right out in Mooncrest. It used to be a lot better. Don't take it for what it is now. Mooncrest is a dump now. It's like right above Coreopolis. My mom's from Coreopolis, and it's like this community. Like you can only get in and out one way. And it used to be really cool, and then like a whole bunch of crime and stuff. So I was like, come out there, and now it's like kind of like not.
Is it a smaller town?
It's like a little like Mooncrest is like on the outskirts of Moon. It's still considered Moon Township, but it's like a not a gated community, but it's really weird. It's like almost like an exclusive. Like you go up this huge hill and it's just community.
One way in, one way out.
Yeah, it's one way in, one way out. You can only get in one way. You can only get out one way.
I'm not too familiar with it all. I grew up in like McKeesport, Elizabeth area, and we moved out here. I actually live down the road now, so
okay.
It was close. Now you grew up, mom and dad, and like, what was it like growing up over there? Like, what did you do for fun?
Well, I'm as you probably know, I'm a very unique individual because I was homeschooled first. I've never been to a public school because I never went to college. Yeah? So I was homeschooled my entire life. And
that's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay.
How was that? What was that like?
It's different, man. It's like because there was 8 of us, I had 7 brothers and sisters.
7?
Yeah, we're a gang.
Wow.
So like if we didn't have
gang.
it's a whole bunch of us, man. So we didn't need like you didn't really need people. Like there's fucking 8 people. It's always somebody. Yeah,
always something to do.
Yeah, it's always somebody to bother.
What's the age difference between you guys?
My mom and my dad were busy, so I think there's like 15 years in between all of us or something. Like it's like my older sister's like 2 years older than me, and everyone's like either a year and a half or a year and 8 months older than another person.
And you said you're 31.
And my older sister just had her birthday January 6th. I think she turned 36 because there's 3 above me.
Yeah. So you're in the middle somewhat.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Excuse that's wild. I don't know the middle child. I'm the youngest, so people think
y'all are the assholes. Y'all are the assholes.
For sure. So you got some younger brothers and sisters too? Now, were you all homeschooled?
All of us.
All of us?
Everybody. Nobody went to a public school.
Wow, that's crazy.
Went to a public school. Everyone.
Now, did you have friends that went to public school?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I worked at McDonald's out in the Moon and stuff, and, like, all of my friends went to public school and stuff.
That's wild.
So it was just different. My mom was just like, she ain't trust the system for shit.
I mean, that's understandable now for sure. There's some crazy shit going on in this world. Now, were you always into martial arts?
My father was a martial artist. And, like, when him and my mom split, like, and he kind of showed us a little bit. He's done, like, Taekwondo, so we kind of learned it a little bit. But I just always liked martial arts. Like, the funny story is, I've told people this before, but my family used to call me Blackie Chan growing up.
Blackie Chan.
I used to call me Blackie Chan and shit. And I used to watch. Well, we all used to watch it, but I really liked it. Was the Last Dragon movie?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I watched that probably 1,000 times.
Yeah, my brother had a huge movie poster. He
really?
had, like, all the Bruce Lee collection, all the VHSs that like were side by side and that went together into a big picture.
Yeah,
and there was all kinds of wild shit. So like, we grew up on. My aunt and uncle owned a video store
so you
in McKeesport. So like we had anything we wanted to pick from. I grew up on Bloodsport, like Karate Kid, all that Steven Seagal movies, Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee, all that shit.
Yeah, like my mom really liked Bruce Lee and stuff. So we watched a lot of Bruce Lee movies. Jackie Chan. I've probably seen every Jackie Chan movie ever made. Like
Rumble in the Bronx.
Like Rumble
in the Bronx is my shit.
Freaking there's so I mean even his old ones like freaking damn I ain't seen them man. I'm trying to think of the names.
There's all kinds. There's Who Am I?
Yeah, that's the best one.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I grew up on all that shit. Watching
Rumble
all that.
in the Bronx. I gotta kind of watch that. I ain't seen that in a minute.
Dude, that movie was sick. Whenever he was in the alleyway and getting beat on, and dudes were hitting bottles with a bat wrapped with a T-shirt, hitting bottles at him, and then like that little kid in the wheelchair took him in. Remember they like they stashed
details.
Dude,
I'm trying to think.
I'm a movie guy for sure,
shit.
through and through. So you grew up watching all the martial arts stuff like that. Obviously, if your dad was into martial arts, like something you could relate to,
right?
And so you, how old were you when you started?
So as you get older, you know, like you start, you want to do regular sports. When I turned like 13, I'm like, I want to fucking play basketball. I used to love Clyde Drexler. My older brother was Hakeem, so he was Hakeem Olajuwon. I was Clyde Drexler. We was the Houston Rockets. We wear their jerseys. We go to the park. So I kind of got away from martial arts because it was kind of like, you know, people be like, what are you doing? You think you're a Power Ranger and all this shit? So I'm like, I want to be regular. I want to be just like everybody else. So you want to play basketball. And I really didn't get back into fighting until I moved to New York.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I moved. I was modeling up in New York, and I used to go to this place, and this dude would this cool old guy, big ass old black dude, he was big as shit, like fucking his muscles had veins and muscles on them. He kind of looked like Terry Crews. That's what he looked like. He was big ass dude. Yo, he was cool as shit though. But he was like, you ever heard of MMA? And I'm like, what the? I didn't know what it was. I remember I was in Pittsburgh, and one of my buddies that worked with me at Red Lobster, he was like, yo, Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture. And I thought it was WWE, and I was like, yo, that's fake, dude. I'm not. Why are you getting into that? I'm like, you know who's going to win? And he was like, no, this stuff is real. And I remember laughing. I'm like, yo, you're so stupid. And
so this is before it all started catching fire. Like, now it's crazy. It was super popular. It's so popular.
Even though up in New York, I remember after the dude told me, and he was like, you might like that stuff. I used to just go there and just kick the bag and punch it.
Yeah.
And he's like, you might like this stuff. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then I stepped outside, and there's a damn, like there's like a 50-foot GSP poster, because GSP was about to fight Matt Hughes.
Yeah, Matt
There's
Hughes.
a huge poster outside. I'm sitting there
this
like,
is right in the
what
beginning
the
of it
hell
all.
is that? I'm like, I don't know how I missed it, but I went to a FYI, and I got a King of the Cage video. And it was Uriah. It was a Uriah Faber package.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who the hell Uriah Faber was, and I
the
watched
California
it
kid.
and was like, "Yo, they pay people to do this." And like, I literally decided within like 3 months that I was gonna like just leave New York. And
How old were you right here?
I was 20 at the time. Mm-hmm. So I was 20. I was like, I'm gonna leave New York, and like right when I came back, I turned 21 when I got back.
That's dope. That's dope for sure. So you got into fighting right whenever you were around like 20 again?
20, yeah.
And 31 now, so you've been doing it for over a decade.
Long aches and pains.
Now, whenever you were 20, what did you start, like, what was your first jump into it all?
Well, when I came here to the Fight Club, and I met Eric Hibbler, I mean, like, I've always just had a natural nick for punching stuff. Like, I would just, like, I just knew how to punch. I just have a natural rhythm for that.
Yeah.
So I just started basically getting into more, like, he had every class, but I would skip jiu-jitsu. I would skip wrestling.
Yeah?
And I would just punch shit all the time.
Well, that's wild. That's crazy.
So it was just, that just came more natural to me. I don't know why. I just had a natural feel for it.
So whenever you were younger, I want to get back to that a little bit, just because, like, I want to know what it was like growing up. So whenever you were younger, you had a gang of brothers and sisters.
You ever seen a lion when they set the fake? So they all get to the gazelle and they start fighting, and there's like 3 lions in the back not eating nothing.
I bet it was wild.
Like it was fun, but it taught you how to survive, because it's like, and not like there won't be enough of food or some shit, but like
it's just like there's aliens.
There's 8 of us, 8 personalities, 8 people. Even as adults now, it's even worse, because my youngest sister's 21.
Yeah.
So we're all grown people, and around the holidays when we all get together and stuff, it's anarchy.
It's probably nuts too.
My god!
Because like I have like a somewhat of a big extended family, and that gets pretty crazy. So I couldn't imagine having.
Everyone thinks they're right.
Yeah.
My little brother fights, so like we're always around. So like people don't get it, like around the holidays and stuff. Like we're cool with like not seeing our family.
I'm sure there's a switch though.
Yeah, because it's like we always see each other. We went from seeing each other so much through our life that we have a permanent connection. So it's not like, hey, I have to see my family. Like, oh man, they got shit to do. They got shit to do. I got my own stuff to do. So it's a little bit different than like most people. Like, don't you want to see your family? I'm like, I've seen enough of their asses, and usually I'm probably going to see them at some point in time anyway. So it's kind of different when you grow up in a big family and being homeschooled. You know, it was just we weren't known as individuals.
Yeah,
our friends and our stuff, like my mom's friends, and we were known as the Worthies. We were known as a collective
as a whole
group.
Entity.
Yeah, a collective group of people, not as an individual. So it was kind of cool when we got to a point where you separate. We kind of like that separation a little bit.
That's wild. Growing up into a house where you didn't go to public school or anything like that, like how did you how did you get introduced to other kids and
Kids.
everything like that?
Well, my mother had us in this mentoring program with Khalid Rahim. He had a mentoring program. It was out in Northview Heights. So we would go out there. It was called Visions, and like I met a lot of cool people out there and stuff. And my brother and my older brother, and my older sister actually worked with them, and I met a lot of mentors. They helped mold me into the human I being. So that's basically like, and then like of course like you go to the playground and you just meet people and stuff
for
like
sure.
that. But I was always really, really shy. But basically, like that program kind of just got you into like meeting people.
Yeah, like kind of get you into
Yeah,
take the place. Of,
I mean, like, and then then we go downtown because like I was always just downtown. I'd catch the bus. I'd just be like, I'm just gonna get on the bus and go downtown, and we go to like Kappa School downtown. We meet the other kids, and we go meet other kids and grab a kid. It was just different. Like you would have to travel a little bit, but you
it
just
still
have
got
to
the
make it
same
work.
thing. Just had to work a little.
Yeah,
bit
you had to
harder.
work. It was just a little bit extra work to make it get done.
So what kind of things were you into as far as like style wise? What kind of movies did you watch? What kind of like music did you listen to?
I only listened to reggae or hip hop until I was like 17, 18. Like,
Yeah.
I just didn't feel nothing else. I was kind of like, nah,
Yeah.
and like once I turned 17 or 18, I kind of like broadened my horizon on music. Now I listen to like basically all kinds of shit, man. You go through my library and people are like, what the hell? Like I listen to everything. Movie wise, I mean, like I said, I would definitely watch a bunch of martial arts movies. I used to watch a lot of nature shows.
Oh yeah,
Like a lot, like, and I still do. Like I was watching Planet Earth the other day. Like I'll sit down and watch nature shows for a
dude,
minute.
that shit is wild. You ever see Microcosms?
No.
Microcosms is a show where, dude, they have microscopic or whatever the terminology is, these cameras that'll just like get real in depth on like, for instance, there's a spider and it's a spider that could live underwater. It makes like a bubble underwater and it breathes under this bubble. Dude, it's so fucking crazy because it'll go through like all different types of bugs and insects and just like explain kind of their life and like a daily routine. And it is the wildest thing that I've watched on Netflix.
Really?
Since. Yeah, you got to check it out.
It's
for
on
sure.
Netflix?
Yeah, it was
I'll
on
have to
Netflix.
check that
Right.
out.
It's called
I'll be
Microcosms.
stuck in my bedroom for a week.
It was definitely crazy. So reggae, hip hop, and everything like that. Growing up all the way up until moving to New York. What made you go out that way?
I was just tired of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I don't know. Most of my siblings were all going off. Like everyone would graduate and go to school. I never liked school.
Yeah.
I just never fit in like to someone telling me I had to do something. I hate like just falling into like the wheel and people
I
like,
can
oh, you
understand
got.
that.
I hate the fucking just
what
the wheel, man.
I'm trying to
like
break
that.
out of it right now.
Yeah, I'm like, I
break the
can't.
system, dude.
I can't. I could never just be regular or just fit in. To me, it just made my head hurt. So, like, my mother was kind of the same way, so she didn't force us at all. Like, you don't want to go to school, you don't have to go to school. And I wanted to get away from Pittsburgh, and I ran into this lady, and she said she would take me to New York tomorrow. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. And all my friends like, yeah, fucking right. And I was gone in 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I got. Like, I'm the type of person, even till this day, I can just up and disappear. Like, I don't really need material stuff. That's not really... Like stuff, that's the kind of stuff you can get new stuff. You can always
could
buy
always
new
have
stuff.
something,
You
yeah.
can always get new stuff. So I'm the type of person, like if something hops up, like if someone walked in the door and was like, hey, I have a flight for you to go somewhere this weekend for a week or something.
Yeah,
like,
not
would you
too
take
much
it?
shit
I'm
to
like,
tie you down.
yeah, I'm like, I'll just take it and go. So that's just how my brain sees
That's
things.
dope. So what was it like living up there? Like, what was your living situations like?
So when I first moved up to New York, I lived in a model house with like 6 other guys and like 15 girls.
how was that?
That
Had
was
to be
fun.
interesting.
That was nuts, man. Like it was completely insane. Lots of interesting people. I mean, like it was just different because I came from Pittsburgh and then you just moved to New York and it's just because it's a little bit everything's just different. It's really fast paced and we lived in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like no. Oh, we weren't in Brooklyn. Were we in Queens? No, I lived in Queens. I moved to Queens. Maybe we were in the Bronx.
Yeah,
I can't remember. It was
Rumble in
Brooklyn
the
or the Bronx.
Bronx.
It was one or two, but it's just different. It's a
Regardless, I
completely
bet it
different
is
environment.
because like you move from Moon to up
exactly,
into New York.
Going right up in.
You got to be
We
wild.
would we have to catch a train every day. You have to learn how to get around and all this, et cetera, et cetera. So it was experience though. I liked it.
So what kind of stuff did you model? Like what were you
Underwear.
doing? You were underwear model?
Man. The
20 years old underwear model.
The jobs that I got were like boxer stuff. I did a couple of suit stuff too. My thing was I was always a little bit too small. Like I'm like an inch too short. So like when they would try to put the suits on me and stuff, you could tell because like that's the whole reason you have to be a certain body frame because they don't change
fills
stuff.
it out right.
It always fits in right, and I would always be just a little bit too short. So like most of the stuff I got were like boxers and stuff, but that's just about your waist. It doesn't really matter your height. So
yeah. So how was that? Like you would go there and just have to put on some different underwear, and people just taking pictures of you.
There's a couple of pictures. Fucking my little brother posted them. There's like this one. I got this leaf and shit. It's actually a cool ass picture. But yeah, you just go in, do your thing, and like they take your pictures. And
did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, like I did a couple of runway shows too. Those were
probably
more
wild.
fun. Only sucky thing about runway shows is you wouldn't make money. You make for men you wouldn't make money. Women make money on runway. For men, you make more money doing like print work, unless you're doing like really high class runway shows. That's the life of a model. You do a whole bunch of shit and get paid like in lunch meat.
Yeah, I bet.
It's ridiculous.
So that obviously, if you were making crazy money out there, you probably would have stuck with that.
I mean, I would have probably been doing that. Yeah, if I was like, the only thing is like name a millionaire male model. There isn't one, right?
Yeah.
Because most male models, if they're successful,
Have
they go
other
into acting. They
careers.
go into acting.
Yeah.
There's no such thing
You
as
got
male
David
models
Beckham,
making
who's
money.
a soccer player.
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, all kinds of
Yeah, they
people.
all go into acting.
That's
and
a
I
good
hate
point.
acting.
I never thought about that.
They can't. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I remember when I got into it, the guy was like, listen, you're a guy and you probably have about 5 years to do this. And he goes, and you should probably start getting into acting. I was like, I hate acting. He goes, well, you're not going to be able to do this for long because male models don't make money.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Like,
Yeah, and I mean,
don't
I'm
make
sure
money.
that if you got a picture of a random guy compared to like David Beckham on there, people are gonna be like, "Oh, I know who that dude is.
Right.
He's ripped. He looks good." Like that's.
I mean,
that's
it's
a good
like,
point. I
like
never
if
thought
you're a
about it.
Victoria's Secret model, you can make, for female Victoria's Secret models, they can make like $100,000 to rock the runway. I mean, to walk
That
down
is
and walk,
insane.
and that's like low level. Like that's like mid level, low level type stuff. The rest of the girls can make like mad money to do stuff like that, and they get perfume ads and all kind of shit like that. It's just it's more money for females than it is for money. It's a female dominant profession.
That's wild. That's probably a wild chapter in life.
Yeah,
underwear
it's just,
model,
It's just different.
and then you come back to Pittsburgh and start getting punched in the face.
You know, the biggest thing was when I came back. All of my friends, I just don't get in this. I've been in one street fight my entire life. Like I don't fight. I don't like to fight. Like, and all my friends, they know that about me. They're like, dude, you're gonna get murdered because you're like fucking Mr. Nice Guy. You know, like you don't like to fight. Like I like competition, and I like when they say there's another human training to beat you up. I'm like, the fuck out of here. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. But fighting people in the street, I'm like, nah, that's not my shit. Like I don't gain anything from that.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. This is definitely something that I wanted to bring up over the holidays.
Yes.
My wife's relatives came in, and he is a Taekwondo teacher. I don't know the terminology. Taekwondo teacher of like, I think 30, 40 years. And we had a debate about martial artists and combat artists. And he brought up I told him that I obviously have no experience in martial arts or anything. I'm your typical, I just like the UFC. I like the fighting, all that stuff. I've been following it for a minute, so I'm the worst type of person to have a conversation with because I got no experience in it. So I asked him about. He asked me if I had any experience or anything like that, any interest in fighting ever, and I was like, no. I mean, I'm a fan of the UFC, Bellator, MMA in general, and he got this smirk on his face, and he was like, those aren't martial artists, those are combat artists. And I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, elaborate a little bit like that. And he was saying that that people that compete are not martial artists, because the whole aspect of competition. And it was a whole night of conversation, just me and him, because I just found it ridiculous that he said that there was no martial artists, and he said this specifically in the UFC or Bellator or anything like that. Those are probably the two main fighting organizations, right, so people will know about them. He said that those people, that there's no martial artists in there. That they lost the whole love of martial art and just use it to make money now. Like, that's one thing I wanted to ask you about, because
no, that's a tricky question, because when people say that, like, I'm like, well, that's what martial arts gyms do, the same exact fucking thing. You like, oh, we're gonna do this and do this. I'm like, it's all your ranking and all that shit is just so you can get money out of people. Basically, I'm like, yeah. Or if you go back in tradition, it's just so you can have control over someone. It's just so you can have classism over someone. So it's still just like when a professional fighter fights for money. Yeah. It's all basically the same thing, just in a different. Like, for me personally, when I get people that do traditional martial arts and say that, I'm like, you just a pussy. Excuse my French, but that's basically what it breaks down to.
You could say that.
I'm like, you say you're not martial artists because, I'm like, dude, why? You say you're a martial artist because you meditate and you drink fucking green tea, so that makes you a fucking martial artist.
You do no violence towards anyone.
Yeah, get the fuck. That's not martial artists. That's not a martial art. I'm like, let's be realistic. If you go back and you follow martial arts, these are styles that people used to use to kill people.
Yeah.
Like, fucking kill people. Yeah. Like, really kill people.
And that's what I was asking him. I was like, well, people were literally like killing each other back in the day whenever this all started.
What did he say?
And he was saying, he was like, yeah, well, if it's a matter of life and death at that moment to your family, you could protect. You have the right to protect someone and protect your well-being. He was like, where it gets gray is whenever people train in a certain art for many years and then just use their knowledge to go into something else where they could just make money off of it.
That's fucking school, dude. That makes wild, no sense.
Right? Like, it blew my mind that he was saying this. I was like, I asked him the question. I said, what do you think would happen if you were in a room with all the fighters in any organization, and you said to them, you looked at them and said they're not martial artists? He was like, well, they'd probably beat my ass. And I was like, well, then then why?
What's your martial arts?
I was like, why are you right? And then all these people are considered to be wrong. And he never had an answer for me. He just kept saying, they're not martial artists. That's just combat training artists.
I mean, that's just like
he's tiptoeing around it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a musical artist can be like, oh, all the artists now aren't artists because of this, that. I'm like, I mean, people can say that because, like, people always talk about mumble rappers. Now, don't get me wrong, mumble rappers are very irritating, blah 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 blah. But in the same sense, when people I have people always on my Facebook, always lining up people talk about mumble rappers. I'm like, if you took as much time as you did talking about mumble rappers and actually tried to maybe be a mumble rapper, like, you have to think they've made success out of doing basically nothing. So it has to be fucking something because everyone's liking it. I mean, like, you can't say that it's nothing if some people say that it is something. Like, that's the whole. It just doesn't work that way. So, I mean, like, if you keep going back and, like, you have a lot of people, like, older people, like, oh, music nowadays. Like, I was watching this video, the guy from Duck Dynasty, and he was talking about all the music. He was going through he listened to, like, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and all this stuff. He was talking about it's all garbage and all this shit. I'm like, but the country music you listen to now, if you go back 100 years to someone that listened to classical music, they'll call that shit. And if you go back 100 more years, I'm like, so you can't sit there and judge relative. Music. Yeah, it's all. So, like, if you're an old person, you probably don't connect to it. So you let it go, and you're just like, I don't connect to it. And that's just what people are listening to now. But as for martial arts, it's like, it's the same way. The biggest reason is people are like, oh, well, you can, like, be a martial artist and MMA fighter. I'm like, that's because you guys didn't figure out a way to make your martial arts work for you to make some fucking money. Yeah. Plain and simple. Like, it's the same concept when people, like, talk about jiu-jitsu and stuff, and they're like, oh, well, it's just as hard. I'm like, it's not. MMA, mixed martial arts, is the highest level of non-weapon using combat in the world. That's plain and simple. Not gi jiu-jitsu, not no-gi, not boxing, not kickboxing, not fucking sumo wrestling, not mud wrestling.
I mean, those people are gonna, because everything that you're saying is like they're all focused on one style and there's one way of doing it, but like MMA,
if you open up the fucking door.
It's like you got to deal with one. I mean, obviously, again, I don't know anything about it, but
Right.
you, I mean, I could just imagine there's people that are good at wrestling. You got to deal with that. People are good at jiu-jitsu. You got to deal with that. So there's all kinds of shit that you got to like.
You gotta. It's
be
your
prepared for.
and it's plain and simple. It's like that's the whole reason they started it because people say, "Hey, my boxing style can beat that style," and that's the whole reason they started it.
That's what I kept asking him.
It's self-explanatory.
I was like, why is there still competitions? I was like, you teach Taekwondo, and there's Taekwondo competitions. Like where?
And what did he say?
And he was just saying, well, those are just what was the phrasing he said? He was like, "There's no money involved in that."
Yes, there is.
Something I don't know.
Point karate has you can get money
saying.
in point karate and world champions and stuff.
It was just a ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. The whole conversation just kept going back and forth because I just kept saying, just because someone could be training in karate, jiu-jitsu, anything like that for 25 years, and then just because they're good enough and they got looked at to come fight in the UFC, just because they're making some money off of it, that martial artist title dissolves. And he kept saying, "Yep." And I was like, that is insane to me to even say.
He's a hater, man. He's drinking lots of haterade.
Yeah, but that's one of the main reasons that I wanted to talk to you and ask you about that, because I thought that's
a
insane.
Common thing. Like you get that a lot from traditional martial arts.
Yeah,
I mean,
traditional.
Some even like I said, even some jiu-jitsu people, some like jiu-jitsu teachers and stuff will look down on people that do jiu-jitsu in the martial arts. Like, oh well, that's because like I don't do a lot of gi jiu-jitsu. I'm like, I prefer to do no gi and do wrestling and stuff like that. But I mean, that's just But what it really boils down to is it's about money. It's about being able to still run their schools to make money. Like you want to do your Taekwondo school. I mean, like, look at most like traditional martial arts schools are like, oh yeah, we teach MMA. No, the fuck y'all don't. Yeah. Y'all just fucking tell people you do that because it's what people want now. So you're like, oh, we teach MMA, and those are the guys you see getting their head carved the fuck open in fights, and you're just sitting like, But I mean, like it's whatever.
It's definitely interesting. It's an interesting conversation. I told him I would like to witness a conversation between someone who fights MMA compared to him. And I mean, like, what could he say? Like, oh, you're not traditional. I'm like, every MMA fighter started off doing a traditional martial arts. And that's exactly what I said to him.
Everyone, like, jiu-jitsu is a basic. Jiu-jitsu is probably like the highest, like where most people start off in MMA. So that's a very traditional, like fucking geared up and shit. That's a very traditional martial arts, and they branch off from it. So how can you say, or kickboxing, or like Muay Thai, or like, then how can you say that they're not martial artists? I'm like,
I know it was. It's definitely crazy, and I thought it was interesting.
I mean, he'll probably think those people that do those cheese strikes and shit are martial arts. Or something.
Yeah, then people that
do that Kamehameha and knock the guy through the wall.
They bank up their energy.
Don't get me wrong. If I could do that shit,
yeah, it would be sick.
There be people laid over all over the South Side.
So back to being around 20 and getting into martial arts a little bit more seriously. Like what was your first step into it? Like where did you go? Like you came here?
Fight Club Pittsburgh. I came here. It's the first place I went to. Okay. And I used to always drive on a bus to Robinson, and I would see the gym sign, like halfway see it from the gym, and I was like, maybe I should check it out. Check it out. And then I moved back. I just came here and.
Now, at that point, did you have any experience?
No.
Or any training at all?
I mean, like, this is stuff that I've done myself.
Yeah.
Like,
just nothing too crazy.
Yeah, no, I never actually had someone even hold pads for me. I was just like...
So what was it like getting into all this? Like,
I'll tell you, it's hilarious because I started getting to it when I watched BJ Penn. And I'm sitting there with my older brother, Hakeem, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going down to the gym next week, and I'll probably be fighting this dude in like a year. And my brother looked at me and goes, you're a fucking idiot. I'm like... Dude, I'm going to be fighting in a year. He goes, you have no idea how hard this is going to be. I'm like, dude, I know how to punch people.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know how to punch people. I'm going to be fighting that guy in a year. I'm like, maybe make some money. And I went down. I came down to the gym. And my old coach, Eric Hilbert, he was like really old school. So if you came into the gym and said you wanted to fight, he'd just be like, all right, let's pitch you against somebody that wants to fight.
Yeah.
So... I remember I got kicked.
Straight to the wolves.
Yeah, straight up. And I got kicked, and I was like, that hurts. And like a lot of people don't realize this. Like if you're used to natural pain referrals, you're used to hitting your hand, getting hit in the face. You've been hit in the face multiple times. You're not used to getting kicked in your sciatic nerve. That's just not a pain referral that you're used to.
I think regardless of anyone, it would hurt.
Yeah, I mean, like if you've never felt it before, it's like if someone kicks you, you're like, oh, that stings, and they really chop into your leg, and it just starts to add up. And that was the first time I was just like, oh. And like most people don't come back, I just kept coming back. I remember I would get beat on by everybody, and then like what happened was most of the guys that came, they would like leave there. They had other jobs, and they would leave for a little bit, maybe like a month or something. They go around doing stuff, whatever, and they get kind of flaky. And I would train 6 days a week. 6 days a week for like from 5 to 8.
Okay.
And then 5 days a week from 5 to 8, and then I do Saturday mornings, and I work in the morning time, and then I shadow box like 2 hours a day. I did that for probably like 2 straight years. That was my schedule. Like I didn't do anything outside of that. Like people would ask me, I'm like, yo, I'm going to the gym.
Just working the gym.
Working the gym. That was.
Now where were you working at?
Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake?
AKA the Hell Pit.
The Hell Pit.
Fucking Hell Pit.
Bro, I had some shitty jobs too.
I picked up my best friends from there, but that place is a fucking hell. They work you
I had some
fucking
shitty
down.
jobs too. So you worked at Steak and Shake, and then you said you worked at Red Lobster too.
Red Lobster, yeah, I worked at. I worked
the food industry.
The food industry, man. Oh, the shit that I've seen.
Now, what did you do there?
At first I was a cook, but once I moved to New York, I became a waiter. And then I was like, I'm never going to the back of the house again.
I
became a waiter. Became a waiter forever after that.
I worked at a pizza shop before, making pizzas, delivering pizzas. I worked at fucking Subway before. I worked as a janitor, cleaning toilets before. I've done a bunch of shit as well. It sucks. It sucks to do all that stuff.
Hell yeah, man.
So working and then coming to the gym, you had to have a lot of drive because like after you work 9 hours at a shitty job like that, last thing you want to do is go to the gym.
Man, for me, it was weird. Like, when I first started off, it was all I wanted to do, so it was easy. Like, I lost mad girlfriends because I'd be like,
gotta go to the gym.
I'm going to the gym. I'm like, even my girlfriend I'm with now, she knows. I'm like, I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
Like, I'm working. Like, I'm here. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, I always would say it would go fighting. Like, you know what I mean? Fighting was always a top priority. I'd miss birthday parties, graduation parties, all kind of stuff. Miss shit for myself, like all kind of stuff. Like,
now, how did you get into that mentality? You said that you weren't always into like fighting whenever you were younger. You were kind of shy. Like, what made you wanted to get into like?
I like doing like, so when I moved to New York, I started like I told you, I was really shy, but you have to walk a fucking runway. You got to get used to like facing shit like that. So it just forced me outside my box, and then I kind of became addicted to challenging myself. So I just started. I used to be afraid of heights, and like now I like ride roller coasters. I bungee jump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just constantly
bungee jumped.
Yeah, bungee jump.
How wild was that?
It was nuts. I just walked to the edge, just jumped off. It was crazy.
In Thailand?
In Thailand. Just jumped off, man. It was nuts.
I would be way too freaked out to
like,
do
you
that,
get
I
up,
think.
the cranes take you up. I'm like, yo, are we done? The guy goes, halfway there. I'm like, oh, shit.
That is
insane.
insane.
He just walked to the edge, and he goes, and you walk to the edge. I'm telling myself, I'm like trying to tell myself, like, let's wait a little, let's think. And my body just pushes me off. Just jump, and it's like over. It was fast. Over.
I bet you didn't regret doing it either.
No, I didn't. Once you're done, you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably
the scariest thing is you think I can die. That's the scariest thing. If you start thinking while you're up there, you start thinking I can die. The rope can break. I can die. That will force you to come back. And you see
them weird videos online where you see people with a broken. Yeah, like that's immediately what I go back to thinking of. Is like my big ass jumping off there. It's gonna snap, and I'm gonna hit a rock under it. And that's gonna be.
If we were below a lake, but I was still just like, I think it was. How tall was it? I had the certificate in the room there.
Tall as hell, probably.
It was high. It was high up. Man, I got up on this crane, and like, we're in Thailand. You can see all the mountains and stuff. I'm like, yo, we're up high. And you just jump off, and you feel like a stone falling through the air. It's a creepy ass fucking feeling.
I bet. Fun. So you're training here. How long did you train here before you had your first fight?
I trained here for like a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was out partying at a friend's birthday party, and my coach called me like, hey, I got you a fight for like next 2 months or something. Like, I think it was like a month and a half or some shit. I remember I hung the phone up, and it was the weirdest feeling because it was like happy happy and fear and regret all at the same.
Yeah, it had to be scary.
I was like, shit. You know, you're going. It's kind of like when you have that girl. Then she finally, I'm gonna give you something. You're like, oh shit! No.
I mean, it's scary for sure.
It's scary though.
Anticipation and all that, and the fear together. It got to be scary. So, what was your mentality after that? He called and told you got to fight in a couple months, and it was just get to work.
Yeah, I started training and stuff. I started getting ready. For me, like because I'm not like as like you would say not violent, but I'm just not as aggressive. I had to learn how to turn the switch on and off.
Yeah.
So like when I first started fighting, I used to like black out in the back, like literally like black out, like not remember any, like I don't remember my first 3 fights, like none of them, like remember nothing of it. Like I would come, dude, I told people this 1,000 times. My first fight, I came to it and he's like in mount, punch me. I'm like, yo, what the? And then I blacked out and then I come to it again outside the ring.
That like, is. Oh, so how did you do on your first fight?
I won by knockout.
Yeah, won by knockout? But you don't remember it at all?
No, I don't remember it. I watched the video. I'm like, I still, till this day, I can watch the video and be like, I still can't. I remember bits and pieces of it. It was like a dream, like in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Then
now, as far as up to you can remember, what like what kind of things were you thinking? Like you trained these couple months, you knew it was happening a couple days beforehand. What was your mindset of all that?
It sucked because I didn't train jiu-jitsu at all, barely any then. I remember, I think I went to the guy's MySpace.
Okay.
That's how long ago it was.
Yeah, back in the day.
And he was like, I love BJJ. I train BJJ every day, all day. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I tried to like catch up. I think that was like 3 weeks before. And I think my old coach, Dave Sachs, he showed us how to get out of mount, like a picture hand bloater underarm is a desperation type move to get out of mount. And I remember that's how I got out of mount from that fight. I remember that distinctively. I remember I come to it in mount. And I'm like, oh, shit. He's punching me.
Yeah.
And I just exploded off. I remember I just put my hand blows under him. I remember I rolled over and then it was over. But it was just like my thought was just like go in there. I remember I was thinking I'm like, just hit him. As my old coach, that's what Eric Herby should tell me. He goes, dude, you'll beat people simply because most people do this because they think it's cool. And he was like, you actually enjoy martial arts. You're a martial arts. You like competition.
Yeah.
Most people I'm still like that. And you'll see that a lot in the UFC. Most guys like to win.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like to win. I like to fight. The Diaz brothers likes to fight. That's why I like them. They don't give a fuck about winning.
Yeah.
They want to fight.
Like Cowboys.
Most guys will be content not fighting and winning.
Yeah.
And I've done that once in my career and it bothered me for like 2 months. Like I had a fight where I knew I could have won, and instead I was like I could have went for the knockout instead. Like I'm gonna coast this shit.
Yeah,
bother me. I can't do it.
I bet.
Like, it just freaks me out. I mean, even if I go for a submission, if I go for like ground and pound, whatever, not it doesn't matter. I'm like if I think like that's the whole reason. Like because then you're a fraud. In my brain, I'm like, you're a fraud because you tell people, you'll tell your friends, I'm a badass dude, man. I'm out there smashing people. Then you get in the fight, you're just like, how can I get out of here without like doing any that's you're a fraud.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people. I'm sure that's the mentality of like a lot of the regular people who don't train martial arts or anything like that. It's like everyone who trains martial arts, like I'm just a badass. Like I'll beat anyone up in the room and things like that. But it turns out like a lot of people that you talk to, they don't really think like that.
No,
the real
not
ones.
At all.
They don't want any confrontation. They just,
and
like you said,
that's the biggest thing. Like I said, most of my friends were all like, "You're going to get murdered because you're just too chill." Like everyone thinks nowadays it's a little bit different. People kind of realize the MMA fighters are just regular fucking people.
Yeah,
I mean it's just like a lawyer. Like you know, what I mean,
exactly.
He's not like sitting around reading books or studying or reading through shit, fighting fouls the whole life. Yeah, he does other shit too. Like
you're doing your own homework.
It's
just different things.
Exactly. So it's like. It's just you have to just learn how to turn that off and on. Like just turn it on when it needs to be on, and turn it off when it needs to be off.
For sure. So after your first fight, what was next for you?
I want to fight again. It's like a drug. I'm like, oh my god, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's probably insane to go.
Oh my god, and my knockout, that guy, unfortunately for me, my knockout was so bad because the guy's feet were still there, and the ref had to like fix his feet. His feet were still standing, and he had to like. It was like he just got shot with a cannon. And he had to fix his feet. So when you fight like that, and that's your first fight, that's all people expect of you. That's all
set
they
the bar
expect.
high.
The balls, I set the bar way, way too high
Yeah,
in
that's
my
a good
first
point.
fight. So people, that's all. And they, even as a pro now, like that's when I fight, people are just they expect me to like perform. Like,
Death Star.
They're like, yeah, we want you to smash and shit. I mean, like now out of my 9 wins, 6 are by way of knockout, and I have 1 submission and 2 decisions. So it's still what's
majority
expected.
is majority is you knocking people out.
That's what they want to see. So it's, and fortunately for me, that's what I want to see too. So
Yeah,
it kind of works out for the fans.
I think that's probably like the goal of everyone, right? Finish it in the round.
Yeah, I mean, like some people, like I said, then there's some people who like
They just wanna prolong it and
I want to.
going.
They pride themselves on grinding people. They pride themselves on that. I'm like, it's just, I don't know, it's different.
That
made from a different mold.
That recent fight with Tyron Woodley and Wonderboy Thompson that everyone there. Did you watch that fight?
Yeah,
dude. So many people were booing while we were watching that, and like I can understand why people were booing. And like this is where like Rogan comes into it. It's like you listen to Tyron was just on Rogan's podcast and they were talking about it, and he mentioned like how many people in that arena were booing, and it's just like I don't get how people could like boo. Because like that one person who's like the people who are rooting for Tyron know that dude is a big hitter, know that he's a killer, know that he's going to for a finish and things like that. But I mean, like the other guy that they're fighting, he like that dude is professional too. So it's like, I mean, obviously he wants to try to knock someone out, but like, I mean,
MMA is a weird sport with that because they're like, if you're not willing to sit there and like play I call it the grenade game, where you just pull the pin out the grenade and throw it in the center and just be like, let's see who survives.
Yeah.
Like that, there's a time and a place for all of that. Like when I say I go for the knockout all the time, I'm not willing. Like you can't just be like, I'm just going to pull this out and just say screw it.
Yeah, it's like chess. You got to wait for your
right,
opportunity.
Exactly. Especially depending on who you're fighting. And the thing that I think most people forget is if you're a champion, you're fighting a guy that she either could be the
that
champion
wants to
or wants
steal your
to.
shit
So
from
you're
you.
fighting a like really champ. You really shouldn't see knockouts that much in championship fights.
And
it
that's
should be
what they brought up.
matches.
That's exactly what it is.
Point. Like that's.
It's like two of the best people. Like, I mean, sometimes you might get a knockout. Like last night, Stipe and Francis Ngannou fight.
They needed treadmills.
They
needed the treadmills.
I didn't get to watch it all, but I got to watch the highlights of it, and it's just like you see Ngannou knock out Alistair Overeem with that uppercut from hell. And it's like people were like, man, he's coming out. He's going to be knocking this dude out. And then you got Stipe, a firefighter who works full time. Like, that's crazy to me. Like,
I ain't going to lie. I thought fucking Francis was going to knock his ass in the next
I think
year.
everyone did.
I was like, Francis, you let Africa down, man. We got the Black Panther coming out next month. It was supposed to be Africa back, man. You let us down big time. But my biggest thing with Francis Ngannou was his corner. Like, they're world-class kickboxers, but there were no grapplers. Like you're
for everyone that's listening right now who don't know what this is, Francis Ngannou is how long has he been in there? 2 years?
2.5 years.
And I think 3 years ago he was homeless in Africa, and now he just fought for the heavyweight title, and he unfortunately lost. But I mean, like Stipe is a fucking animal too.
Dude, this is the thing though. He said I underestimated him. When he said that, I just kind of looked at the TV like, are you stupid? You're fighting the heavyweights are like the baddest men on the fucking planet, and you tell me you underestimate the guy who's been
holding the belt
who's
for
going
a minute.
for the record for the most consecutive wins at heavyweight, which is only 3.
Yeah, dude.
So he's going for this record, and you tell me you underestimate him. That was the dumbest thing. I was sitting like, and it's corner, like I said, it's cornermen. They were wrapping him in towels
to cool him down.
No, they weren't wet. They were like dry towels. I'm like, what the. Like I don't know. Like he had a whole bunch of kickboxers in his corner. Like you gotta balance it out. Like me, when I fight, I like to have a jiu-jitsu or wrestler coach in my corner, my head coach, and another striking coach, or maybe like someone else that like really knows me really well. You can't just be like, where is it? It's not a kickboxing match. You can't have like he had all kickboxing instructors in his corner.
Yeah, I mean like like I said, I don't know too much about all of it, but like there has to be a method behind all the madness of it all.
Yeah, and there has to be like you have to have more of a game plan.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I was worried when I was talking with my boxing coach, and he was like, I was watching the All Access with Francis Ngannou, and he was just like, nope, I'm just gonna hit him hard. I'm like, problem.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like that's the biggest problem. If all you say is I'm gonna hit him hard, I don't have a second. He didn't throw any kicks. He didn't feint for a takedown.
Did you see Rory McDonald's leg? Oh my god!
He had like a little human getting out of his leg.
That was insane.
That was nasty. I kind of felt like him laying up in the stretcher afterwards. I'm like, when he was talking at the end, and you can tell the adrenaline was going down, and he just starts holding on the big joint, like, oh my god,
definitely
like
starts healing.
He just
starts
like,
feeling it for sure.
Instantly. He's probably laid up right now. I mean, he's a champion, so that's what it takes to be a world champion.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude got beat to shit by
a freaking Douglas Lima.
Yeah,
actually, I think Lima could have won if he wouldn't have got that takedown in the third round. Because if Lima would have like set his kicks up, he would have won that fight. Because he was beating
that dude's definitely wild though. I mean, like that's why like a lot of the people that are gonna listen to this have no experience in mixed martial arts or any martial arts whatsoever. But that's another reason that like I wanted to talk to you about it. Like I feel that it's interesting for people to hear about it all. It's like the whole process. Like it's wild to hear that like you grow up and like I feel the majority of the people who don't have no training or anything like that think that anyone who fights mixed martial arts are like the kids in school that just fight a bunch of times and like just cause problems. And I'm sure that like sometimes that's the case, but like a lot of the times it's
I wasn't like I didn't have an anger issue or anything like that. I was just.
But like, back to like after your first fight. So you won, you prepared, and when was your next fight after that?
I think like 3 or 4 months or something.
3 or 4 months?
Right behind it.
So that, I mean, I guess that's all just like a consistent just grind. Like after you win your first fight, you're just trying to level up.
It sucks because once you win, you're like, I can stop now. I can stop and end on top. But then you like ask yourself like, why would you want to stop? And it's to just continually just keep. And once like. Every fighter can tell you this. I remember me and Mark were like laughing about it because freaking what's his name? The dude doing Mayhem Miller.
Yeah.
He was talking about how he would be getting ready for fights in like 3 weeks or 2 weeks out from the fight. He would go to Starbucks or go to like freaking Walmart or some shit, and he would envy those people because he's like they don't have to worry about the stress. And I thought I was so happy to hear him say that because I thought I was the only one like. Went through that. Like
it probably has to be.
It's just like,
I'm sure it's 90%, probably 95% bullshit, and that 5% of like the glory at the end if you win, like because it has to be insane. Like, I mean, obviously, you won your first few matches. What was your?
I won 3 in a row. Then I lost one.
3 in a row of winning. So on top of the world and things like that. Like I have to ask you, like, what's it like to lose? It has to be like. Your whole world is getting torn out from under you, right?
Your identity gets shaken. Because if you're a fighter, you identify yourself as the baddest motherfucker in the room. That's it. I'm the baddest.
How did you win your first 3 fights? Were they all knockouts?
1 knockout, 2 submissions.
2 submissions.
But they weren't like submissions as in me grappling. They were like submissions for me like beating the living shit out of someone. And then, like I just get a submission. Yeah. So like it was still like it was basically just
you overpowering the person, overwhelming them.
And then I fought him and I was just like I remember the guy was in mount and I thought I was winning because I was punching him from mount and my coach was like you're losing. I was like what the fuck are y'all talking about? But it was just weird and I had to get used to it. And then it was like. He had really good wrestling. I just couldn't stop him from taking me down. And then once you realize you lose, you're like, oh.
So it was a decision loss?
Yeah, it was a decision loss. Yeah,
okay.
It was just super, super irritating. You're just like, oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, it has to be like, I mean, I couldn't even imagine that. Like,
you just hate everything. Everything sucks.
And I think it would definitely even suck more. It's like I played football in high school. Like, we lost every single game my senior year.
Damn.
And I was a captain of the team. So...
What the fuck was y'all doing?
It was such a shitty feeling because, like, I mean, it's like, yeah, we lost and everything, but like, I got to lose with like a whole team, so it wasn't like just one person.
You can always kind of put the blame a little bit, man.
As wrong as it is, it's like as wrong as it is, like I might in my mind in that second be like, I tried my hardest, like these other fucking people didn't try hard enough,
right?
And it's just like I feel like there's some comfort. and knowing that whenever you play sports with a team, but like you're by yourself, like it's just you, it's all you. So like them 3 wins that you took on your first 3 times, like I mean, you had to be, walking on top of the world.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You're the baddest dude ever.
Dude.
Like, no one could touch you
When I was 1-0, I was like, I'm undefeated.
Yeah.
I'm undefeated. I remember
Yeah.
me and my boy John Leppard, that's our thing. We're like, we're undefeated. Like, you're undefeated.
And then
even though
it's
you're only 1-0.
like 3 fights later, and then you lost to a decision. So, like, I feel like that could mentally, like, just destroy someone.
Oh, it can. If you
Yeah.
can't, like, I tell all of my students now, I'm like, if you can't lose, you're in the wrong fucking sport, man.
Yeah.
Like actually, if you can't lose, you really won't succeed at life in
Nothing
general.
in
Like,
life.
nothing. If you can't deal with death, if you can't
Nothing
deal
in
with
life,
failure, you can't deal with rejection, you'll never really pick up a girl. Like, that's just the
Yeah,
way.
man, that's
Because
it.
you ask 9 girls to go out with you, and maybe one of them says yes. That's just
Yeah.
the everyday thing. If you can't take failure or rejection or not getting what you want, like, then this sport's the worst if you don't know how to bounce back from it. Like I said, I want to win, but that's not the reason I do it. I like competition. If I lose, then I lose. But like a lot of people I'm just going to use Ronda Rousey as an example. Like,
Yeah, we're gonna get to that, too.
Yeah, she's just like.
Now, hold on. Let's pause on that for a second, because I definitely am going to ask you about that. But, so, 3 wins, a loss. Now, what's the process after that? You come back into the training room?
Yes,
And,
and my coach is like, you got to start wrestling. Because my coach used to tell me, he like, you don't have to wrestle. He goes, but I'll tell you right now, some wrestler's going to pick you up and slam you on your head. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, get the fuck out of here. I'm going to knock these damn dudes out. And then I got my ass kicked. And he like that's what I liked about my original coach. Like I said, he was kind of raw like that. He like, if you want to get burned by foul by trial, like, he'll just let
why
your ass get
sugarcoat
burned.
anything? Like,
Yeah,
nothing
he
in the
just be
world
like-
is sugar-coated.
He was so blunt and to the point that, like, he'd be like, oh, you okay, yeah, you think you can out-punch everybody? Wait till this guy dunks you on your skull. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
just
"I
dumps you
guess
on your
so."
head real quick.
Yeah, he's
Then
like,
you're going to
"Dunk
wake
you on your
up.
fucking head.
So after that first fight that you lost, did you go back and, like, watch the tapes? And
No,
like,
I never watched it.
never
I
did?
never watched it. I've
So-
watched all my other losses. I've never watched them.
Did you know, but did you know, like, what you could have done better, what you didn't do?
Yeah, learn how to fucking sprawl.
Yeah.
I just didn't do any wrestling. Like, I was just like, he would run
Yeah.
at me, and I tried to hit him, he'd just go below me. I'm like, oh,
So, like,
shit.
you focused on that after?
Slightly. I was stupid and young, so I was like, oh, I know what I have to do. I have to hit harder and I have to hit faster.
Yeah.
And I started throwing more uppercuts. I'm like, if I throw more uppercuts, when they shoot in, they'll get hit. And then my next fight was against a grappler. I actually choked him out. He, like, ran to a guillotine. I was like, oh, shit. And then I lost again. And then I actually started, like, being like, okay, I need to start doing more,
realizing.
more grappling. Yeah, I need to start doing more grappling and stuff. So I started doing a little bit more. Actually, the gym had actually closed, and I started training with Donnie Caker at PTT and started training with Mark. And Mark was like all about fuck. That's all he fucking did was grapple. I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? So all he did was grapple. So I kind of went up there, and I started to like grapple a little bit more and stuff. So
Now, I feel like that it has to be a wild mindset to be able to be like a 20, 21, 22, because like whenever I was 21, like that's 5-6 years ago, it's like I had a completely different mindset about life, a completely different way how I carried myself, and a completely different way of how I process things. So like it's just like you're young, you think you're the baddest dude in the world, and it's like you have these coaches that are telling you what to improve, what to do to improve, and like, were you always like kind of receptive to like?
yes, I can take information from someone I respect. If I don't respect you, it goes in one ear and out one ear. I can take information. Like I take I'll take information from all kinds of random people. I'm a lot smarter now. But when I was younger, I'm like, I only listen to like my coaches. That's it.
Yeah, you don't hear
Anyone else,
nothing
I'm
from
like, I
no
don't
one.
hear shit. I want to hear shit from you, shit from you, shit from
Yeah.
you. So it was kind of rough. But when you start to become, as I started to meet more different fighters and stuff, and like I would start to like go out to like Washington and train with actually my jiu-jitsu coach now, Marshall, and Paul Rayner, and my boy John Leppard. Like I would go out there, I would let them tell me. stuff. And the cool thing was my striking was always like ahead of everybody. So at the end of the day, I'd be like, yeah, you need to fix your fucking jab. So like I gotta always like give other people information too.
Yeah.
So that way I didn't feel like I was just always just being told what to do. But I mean, like even now it's still like that. You still have to like. I'm still learning wrestling and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like
constant.
People that are in this game for years have to be.
If you're not learning every day, then you're my wrestling coach Sylvester tells me if you're not improving, you're you're going backwards. Like that's just the way it is.
That makes sense. I mean, I feel that could relate with anything, any type of job, like
anything. I mean, especially like let's say you take somebody who does like music. And you do the same fucking Ja Rule. I'll take Ja Rule as an example.
Yeah.
Ja Rule didn't advance his style of music. And
not
he
one
got left
bit.
behind.
Not one bit.
And people are like, oh, he playing that same ass shit.
And it's just that's a wild world that we're living in nowadays because like it's like everyone has a platform now with social media. Everyone has a voice. Everyone has a platform. You could build an entire business off of Instagram. So it's just like if you don't keep progressing, like you're gonna get left behind.
Especially in fighting, like there's always new shit. Like there's new there's new type of guards. Like it's not really new. It's just people find different ways to make them more effective
and develop it a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, like even now, like you can see people are doing like the point sparring. Striking, like more of traditional martial arts styles of striking are being added in the mixed martial arts because everyone knows how to do traditional kickboxing or Muay Thai, and like everyone knows how to spar. So you have to keep evolving. If you're not, like I watched Chuck Liddell fight fucking Rampage Jackson the other day, and I was like, this shit was butt ass compared to the fighters now. But back then they were like the
that's
dudes.
like the
they were fighting for world championship.
Such ahead of the game back then.
Like it was just, but now it's like if you don't know how to do everything, you get worked off. You can't just be Johnny Hendricks talk about having a big
ain't that
right
crazy?
hand.
Because like it's like whenever we were growing up, anything that we wanted to do, we didn't like. I mean, you're 5 years older than me. My brother's 6 years older than me, so like it's easy for me to like kind of put you in the same. It's like nowadays a kid could find something that they want to do, look on YouTube and get a how-to guide to how to do that thing, how to perfect it, and like pretty much just
ask Siri.
Yeah. I mean like everything's just at the palm of everyone's hands, and it's just wild now that like that's just the way we're living in. Yeah, that's the norm. Everything is just given to us, right?
Dude, maps. I remember going to the first King of the not King of Cage of Chaos. I had to go to the library, print out a map, and drive like this and shit, trying to figure out fucking the paper down.
Yeah, so
and
like
now you just put the shit on.
If you're not progressing, like you're definitely gonna be left behind.
Especially now, because stuff is moving at such a rapid freaking rate. It's going way too fast.
Yeah. So like all them years of you fighting and things like that, so you're just developing your skills, developing different aspects of your game, everything like that. Now, where have you, like, I know that you've traveled all over the world to fight.
Right.
Where have you went?
I've fought in China. I fought in Canada.
Okay.
Those are two different countries that I fought in. So,
yeah.
So those were interesting. Like really.
What was it like going over to China and fighting?
That was crazy.
Like, how did that happen? First of all,
the one guy, Silas. I know him. I'm friends with him. He used to work with NWFS, and I was friends with him on Facebook, and he made a post about looking for fighters in China.
Yeah.
And that's always been a dream of mine. I'm like, yeah, I'll go over there and fucking fight in China.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah. And then he hit me up, and like I didn't think it was going to happen because like I had to get like a visa and all this stuff, and it was like I didn't even have my ticket information until like a week before I left. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, this isn't happening. And he was just crazy busy trying to get stuff all lined up. But and it just happened. I just took it. I mean, actually, he hit me up the other day. Was asking if I wanted to get back over there to fight February 6th. But I like it just didn't like balance out with what I was doing and stuff now. So I'm actually trying to go back there sometime this year, maybe at least twice this year, hopefully, and fight again over there. It's crazy fun.
Yeah, that's what's up then. So, like I said in the beginning, we're in the academy right now. Now, tell people what this is right now. Like, give a little background on what this.
Let's see, the academy. It's basically like part of martial arts history here in Pittsburgh. Because it started off as Fight Club Pittsburgh, and that's basically like Baker Pittsburgh was like the original martial arts gym here in Pittsburgh, mixed martial arts gym here in Pittsburgh. It was run by Eric Hibbler, who trained almost everyone in the area had some kind of affiliation or some kind of doing into what they were doing and how they were training and stuff. And now it's just a spot like where professional fighters and for everything from professional fighters to regular people just come in to like be part of a martial arts family and stuff. Like you come here, we got kids programs, women programs, kickboxing, boxing. I mean, I just started up a new Hercules. I saw
that on your Instagram the other day.
You see how I squeeze? Everyone was like, "Oh, you squeeze just." I took a whole bunch of pictures for the people. Y'all listen. Y'all know the picture. Might not see the picture. I took like the best bodies in MMA. So I took like Luke Rockhold or what's his name? The Cuban dude.
Yoel Romero?
Yeah, Romero, fucking Karate Hottie. I took Holly Holmes, and I smacked myself right there. Put myself right down there on the bottom, like, best bodies in MMA, motherfuckers. Come and get it. So, I mean, I understand, like, not everyone really wants to, like, kick or punch something. So,
yeah,
like,
not everyone wants to compete or, like, be violent about
it. Exactly, but they still want, everyone wants the body of a fighter. So I'm like, hey, let's come in and, like, get that same things. That's where that concept for that class came from.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely cool. So you offer all these classes and everything like that, and you're still training currently?
I'm still training. I'm supposed to be fighting March 24th for Pinnacle because Pinnacle's coming back. So I just got hit up about an hour and a half ago about a new person to look up and stuff. So I should be fighting Dan Kakuta's looking to fight. My little brother Shaka's making his pro debut. My second man in command, Justin Patton, he's fighting too. He's still amateur. Probably has like 3 more amateur fights left. And then my boy John Diasus, my main training partner, he's gonna be fighting too, hopefully. So there's a lot of fights if everything goes the way it's supposed to.
That's awesome. So you said that this place is like pretty much where it started in Pittsburgh. Like, what's the fight scene in Pittsburgh? Is there a lot of compared to other places?
There's definitely other gyms and stuff, but like the fight scene in Pittsburgh really isn't that big. I mean, like as in 55ers, professional 55ers in Pittsburgh, there are one other one, Mike Wilkins,
and that's what you fight at 155.
Yeah, as of now, I can't. There's no fucking way I'm making 145 again. Like that's
what you were fighting at though. Was 145,
and it became. Like, there's 2 pictures hanging up on a wall in there. You'll see the difference between me trying to make weight 3 years ago and me trying to make weight last year. It just became harder and harder for
That's
me
a perfect
to make
segue.
weight.
It's like, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. In the UFC, they're doing all this, like they banned the rehydration, IVs, and everything like that. Like, what's your opinion on all this stuff?
I think it's good, and it can be bad. I mean, like now we've had how many people miss weight or have to go to the hospital?
I mean, a shitload. Uriah Hall just almost died.
Exactly. Khabib, he's like chicken and shit too much. But
tiramisu, Khabib.
Yeah, Khabib be like,
for anyone that's listening, though, what I'm talking about is like fighters will cut drastic amounts of weight to be able to make their weight classes, and they'll rehydrate themselves with IVs. So it allows people to cut weight drastically unhealthy, very, very unhealthy, and still kind of be able to like regenerate themselves, and I guess they took that away. So like what's the whole process? Like, what was your walk around weight?
So my walk around weight used to be 162 pounds.
162 pounds.
Right, like when I fought Paul Felder, my walk around weight was 160 pounds, and I was fighting at 155 then.
Oh yeah.
And I hated cutting that weight. I'm like
5 pounds.
Yeah, dude, it was torture. Like if I was training regularly, here come Patton.
That's all right.
If I was training regularly, what's up, ladies? If I was training regularly, my walk around weight would be like I'd get done with a workout, I'd be like 162. And I have to fight at 155, and I hate it. I mean, I'd be like cutting weight, supposedly cutting weight, but I'd be like eating Subway the week of the fight. Like, I'm dying. So that was like way back then. But after I fought him at 155, I dropped to 145. It was horrible. I did it the wrong way.
Because you don't have too much weight to lose, right?
No, now that was always been my biggest problem, but I was always a little bit smaller. But as I started to grow, I started to do a lot of strength. My strength coach, John Lepovich, he always had me doing all kind of stuff. I got a lot. You get older. Your
Yeah.
body structure changes.
Yeah.
You gain more mass, and it became harder and harder for me to like cut down. Like now, I walk around at like I get done with a workout. I'm like 176. So I'm still cutting. I'm still cutting like 20 pounds to make weight. Like my last fight at 145, I missed weight. I just couldn't make it. Like my last fight in Canada, I just couldn't make it. It was a horrible fight. I had a horrible, and I took the fight on like short notice, like 3 weeks notice. And I tried to cut like 24 pounds in 3 weeks, and it was just like almost died. And like earlier that year, I fought at 150. When I went to China, I fought at 150.
Okay.
And that sucked as I boxed at 150. I remember Mark hit me up after they showed the picture of me for weigh-ins for boxing. He goes, "Why do you look like you're so sucked down if you're fighting at 150?" So like your body just starts to change. So really, it's just understanding like and just kind of going with it.
Yeah, being able to what you have the capabilities.
Yeah,
to do.
like realize that you don't really have to kill yourself. To make
without
weight.
dying.
Yeah,
how much you could cut without dying.
Like, because it's kind of rough, like trying to get rid of another like I mean like I would cut. My last time I made 145, I fought I fought here in Pittsburgh, and that was a rough fight. I remember when I fought Castillo, and I started my weight cut from 170 to 145, and that was like the worst. And like there's the picture, and I have this picture, and it's like I was just frustrated. I hated everything. It was just bad cuts.
It has to be miserable. I mean, like
You hate training. You hate thinking about training.
Yeah,
I hate the
doing
smell
all
of
this
like
without-
a sauna. Yeah.
you're doing all the training and everything without being able to like go
Like
home and
any carbs at all. You're not doing any
replenish.
carbs. Yeah, you're like drinking a lot of water, and then you overtrain because you have to sweat. You're just trying to.
Yeah.
I just have to sweat. I have to sweat. So you're overtraining yourself, just trying to sweat. So you don't give your body enough time to like recover and like replenish what you're killing it. So
Yeah, that's crazy, and that's like you said. There's so many people that be missing weight in like
Oh,
the
yeah.
big organizations. It's just
I mean, I think the way now you see a lot of guys went up weight classes, like Cowboy.
I mean, I feel like they have to now, right?
Rafael dos
Especially-
Santos. Yeah, they everyone just all they had no choice but to go up weight
Yeah,
classes.
because like I mean, the only thing I think was saving them was that IV.
Yeah, and then once you can't do that, it's like
Then you start jeopardizing like your
brain.
Yeah, your brain
Shit.
definitely, and just like your capabilities of being able to fight that day.
Oh yeah, I mean like you'll still get guys obviously because people keep missing weight, they are overcutting, but I mean that's just going to be a problem with mixed martial arts forever. But it's just how you do it. Like like I said, my biggest thing was it's like I walk around at probably like at 170 pounds. I'm like easily like 12 pounds, or I'm like 10 or 11% body fat.
Yeah,
So
not
it's
too much.
not, it's not like I don't have anything to come off. Like it's forcing it off. So, but it comes with the job.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, like not for everyone for sure. So, I mean, what's next for you?
Besides the Pinnacle fight, like I
Yeah.
said, that's pretty much it. I'll definitely be going back up to 155. I'm looking to freaking. I feel good. Like I'm older. I'm smarter about my approach to fighting. So. I'm looking to like rack off at least 5 knockouts and freaking try to get on the Contender Series. And like I'm getting old, so I want to get to the UFC, talk a bunch of shit, get some money fights.
Yeah.
Like, cause my thing is like I want to freaking. I don't. Of course, everyone wants to be a champion, but my thing is I want to be like a legend type thing. Like I'd rather be Melvin Manhoff than Chael Sonnen. Like I want people to look at my freaking highlight reel to be like, good God, Khama was a freaking maniac. He was in some of the like nowadays that's what's popular now in the UFC. You can
Just
see people are just like, you know
talking
what?
shit.
They talk shit
they get a
and then when
buzz.
they fight, like the Gaethje and Eddie Alvarez fight, that wasn't the most technical fight, but like unfortunately, like those are only fights that people want to watch now. So like people are willing, like even the UFC this past weekend, people are just willing to like risk it a little bit more. And I've always been that type of fighter. I'm like, I don't want to be a fighter. People are like, oh well, come on, just play it safe. I'd rather risk it. I mean, like,
that's the only way to make shit happen.
yeah. I mean, like, and to that sense, like you really just have to be okay with sometimes failing.
Yeah.
That's life. You're not always going to win every fight.
That's
like
life.
there was this Russian dude. Did you watch the early Fight Pass prelims? he knocked out Tobias, I think the Brazilian dude's name is. And he was like, these are MMA gloves. And he said something really important. He was like, yeah, today I win, tomorrow I lose. He's like, that's part of fighting. And I really thought that was really, because instead of like just celebrating him, like, yeah, I smashed this guy, he was like, today I win, tomorrow I lose. You know what I mean? He was like, that's part of fighting. Like, that's just all of the journey. He was like, we have little gloves on. I caught him with a good punch, and he went down. And he was like, that's fighting. There's always only one winner.
Yeah.
Like, that's like,
and it's the people that can come back after they get knocked down.
AKA not Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk mad shit on her. I don't give a fuck who's listening. And y'all like, oh, fuck, come on. I love Ronda Rousey.
There's no one too big listening, that's for sure.
Like, Ronda Rousey sucks ass. I used to love Ronda Rousey. I mean, I used to love her. Like, she was pure animal instincts, female animal instincts. Like, she was like a fucking monster. Then she got super cocky and started to think her shit don't smell. Like, and then you lose, and then you, like, disappear. Then you lose again, and then you just, like, don't come back. Like, don't say anything. Just be like, I'm good, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, like, from my point of view, which is an uneducated point of view, I mean, she was definitely, like, the person that people thought of, like, whenever they're thinking of the UFC. She probably brought a lot of, like, new viewers to it, just because it's like, oh, there's some woman here that's beating the shit out of everyone else. She's a personality, things like that, and then she wins all them fights in the beginning, a lot of, like, the arm bars and everything like that, so it's like her name's catching on, and then she gets dethroned. Holly Holm kicks her face off. I'm not going to lie to you. I can remember that shit like it was yesterday. I've never been so happy to see someone lose. I watch almost every fight with Dylan. Me and Dylan, we watch almost every fight together, and we both were just like, Jesus Christ! Like,
she fell down.
Like,
You're
an
just
insane
like,
kick. Like, it was just an insane thing to watch, and it's just like, what's gonna happen after this? Because like this girl thinks it. She says that she's like a champion, best to ever do it, and it's like you said, like a real champion. I'll
give you an example. Motherfucking Michael Bisping. As much shit as people talk about Michael Bisping, I'm not really a big Michael Bisping fan, but Michael Bisping is the definition of a fuck you, I'm gonna come back type fighter. Michael Bisping got his soul taken from him from Dan Henderson. He lost years off his life from that fight. Yeah. Literally lost years off his life. Like, he lost years off his life. Vitor Belfort killed Michael Bisping. Like Michael Bisping got crushed by Vitor Belfort. Like, people, everyone, all kind of people beat the shit out of Michael Bisping. Anderson Silva knocked Michael Bisping out, and somehow Michael Bisping won the fight. Then Michael Bisping comes back and becomes the world champion. That's like living proof you can't stop like Michael fucking Bisping.
And I think there's like two different, like, obviously Conor was catching like a crazy buzz and then gets submitted.
Then he has to, like, you gotta come back.
Yeah.
Even though I think he lost the second fight.
But like that was definitely a wild fight too. It's just like he was a champion. He got, choked out, right? Didn't Nate Diaz choke him out?
He choked him out, yeah.
Choked him out. And it's like, the dude was like, he was humble in defeat, and then
it's just a fight. The thing that irritated me with Ronda Rousey was you have young women and stuff that look up to her and all this shit, and she was talking about she wanted to kill herself. Bitch, people are dealing with real fucking life problems, like not having food and not having money, and you making millions of dollars, you get kicked in the fucking head, big deal, and you're talking about you want to kill yourself. That's setting that type of example for people, like that weak, soft ass example.
From an uneducated point of view, it's just like, that girl, like, you would think that she would be a little bit more like tough from that. It's like, she wins all these fights and everything like that, gets her head kicked off. Like I said, like,
how you say, get her head kicked off.
Yeah, gets her head kicked off.
Her head goes flying.
You would think that, from all them years of like training and things like that and losing, like, she had to be.
You know, and it let me know that they said this too, but that just kind of proved it. Like, I go to the Mat Factory on Wednesdays, and all these freaking high-level wrestlers beat my ass, just slam me around, out wrestle the shit out of me. Yep. I spar with Dan Kakuta, get beat up. My man John, I'm getting beat up all the time in the gym. So if I lose a fight, I'm like, you've been there. You have to lose. If you're only, like I said, she was used to winning. Yeah. She's a front runner. She's not a thoroughbred. And unfortunately for fighters, a lot of fighters are like that. Like, even in fights, I hate that in fights when you see guys are like, you're down 2 rounds. Go out there and do some crazy shit. You're gonna lose anyway. Like, who cares? Like, go out there and do some crazy shit. Like,
anything
don't
can happen,
be a front
right?
runner. If you're behind, just go out there and still you're trying to win. You have to just be like, oh, every time I go out there, this guy's getting the best of me. I'm just going to go out there and do reckless stuff. But people are always worrying about trying not to lose. And Ronda Rousey, obviously, she was a front runner. So she was amazing, one of the best to ever do that front runners until she got knocked to the back, and then she just like,
folded under defeat.
I mean, she definitely wasn't getting the proper training. Her as in striking wise, her grappling obviously was high level, but her striking wasn't where it needed to be. Because she just doesn't know how to step.
Do you think it's like what we were talking about before about how like didn't evolve her game as well as she should have?
No, she had too many yes men. I think her game is actually okay. She just had enough of. She had like the same people that hang around Kanye West, fucking bunch of yes men talking about you're good. Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. And you're just like too many yes men. You can't have that many yes men.
Yeah, I can't deal with the Kanye West stuff.
Yeah, Kanye West is a lot of yes.
I work in that. I work in a clothing store and. I see the things that sell in the clothing store, and I see like what he pushes and like how much his stuff retail for and how much it's sought after. And you got like a brown ripped up hoodie that's getting sold for like $600. It's just like I don't see it. I don't see why people do it.
People are stupid. I mean,
just follow the trends.
That's when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's like people, like kids, are biting those like detergent things for Instagram likes. People are fucking stupid.
It's a wild world we're living in.
People aren't the brightest like nowadays, but it is what it is. I don't judge, sort of.
So you said you got some fights coming up.
Yes.
You're developing the academy a little bit more.
Yes.
And making shit happen here. This is the last segment of the podcast. If you don't have anything else you want to...
No, I mean, I just want to say thank you to my girlfriend. That's the one right there. She does all the work.
Nice to meet you.
She's the lady. She's like, I'm the wizard. And she's the man behind the mask. Like the hand behind the curtain.
You're the
like,
brain?
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. That's her. But like, because we basically run the gym together and stuff. I mean, of course, all of my staff and stuff, all of my people, all the people that have been with me, you know,
and this place is like, I mean, like, you don't have to have any experience to come and take classes here or
man,
anything?
you can come in. Like I said, we have 90% of our students that come here have no interest in competing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 2% that actually compete.
Yeah.
And then there's like 8% that want to compete.
Yeah.
Like everyone else is just here. Like it's like family stuff. Now, that doesn't mean they don't get to train with the fighters. I train with people all like with their students.
Yeah.
Like all the time, everything from our little kids. I teach the kids program myself. That's something that I really take I really take pride in, like just working with the kids. Like I've always enjoyed that.
You enjoy teaching?
I enjoy teaching. Yes, I really actually do enjoy teaching because it makes me a better fighter by teaching.
Yeah.
Like teaching little
You
kids.
gotta dissect it a little bit more.
Yeah, because you have to break it down because you have to explain to somebody else, and then your
that makes
brain's
sense.
also like, oh shit, that's the stuff I'm missing. That's the links
pull
that I'm
things
missing.
apart.
Yeah, I mean,
You can't
like
just say go throw this punch. You gotta break it down.
It made me a much better fighter explaining it to someone else. So then, in the same sense, I'm like double backing. It's kind of like you're hearing it back again to yourselves as well. So
Yeah.
I definitely. But yeah, I mean, like, come through, check the spot out. We're right on Campbell's Run Road. We have, like I said, check the website out, the Academy. What's the website?
That's all right. I'll make
Pittsburgh Academy. There we go. PittsburghAcademy.com.
I'll make sure that I put everything in the description below.
Yeah. But yeah, you just come, check us out. And we have, like I said, we have everything from women's only classes. We have Gi Jiu-Jitsu, taught by my man Marshall. We have Muay Thai, taught by the Bionic Fist, Dan Kakuda. We have boxing taught by Chris Williams. He teaches me. He works with all of us MMA fighters, Adam Milstead, Bill Hutchinson. He works with a whole bunch of other professional boxers and stuff. And then I teach the kids class and the MMA class. And Chris Deep teaching the beginners MMA class. And me and Justin Patton, we teach the women's class and stuff. So it's a lot of different stuff going on.
Yeah.
So
pretty much something for anyone, though.
there's something for anyone, no matter what. I mean, 'cause we have people from everything from 5-year-old kids all the way up to like 50, 58-year-old women.
Yeah, whether you want to try to get into the lane of competing or if you just
you
want to work
just
out a different way.
Just kind of like I tell people, martial arts is really good because it makes you feel alive. because you never stop learning. So as long as you're constantly learning, that means your brain's constantly like picking things up, and you constantly have to think about stuff, so it makes you feel alive. And like the biggest thing is like our biggest clients here are like office people, like people that work in office jobs, and they just want to like get that feeling of satisfaction from doing something, and nothing's better than getting endorphins from like doing physical activities. You're like, oh shit, that was great. And then you actually get better, and then you're learning something you can use just in case you get into a sticky situation.
Yeah,
and you can
situation.
Also, you can pass it down to your children, really. Like, we have a lot of like people that come here with their kids and stuff. Their kids take the kids class, or some of the women do their workouts, or some of the guys come here and their kids like come in. So it's like it's a family. It's more of a family atmosphere. So just come down and check it out.
It's definitely dope here. Now, after I do this last segment with everyone that's on here, it's called the Desert Island Questions.
Oh shit! All right.
Okay, so just a game of things that you would take on a desert island if you were only allowed to choose 3 of each. So first one is going to be movies. If you got 3 movies to take with you on a desert island, you can watch over and over again.
Coming to America.
Coming to America?
Yeah, I'm going to be there by myself. I want to laugh.
That's a good one.
Coming to America is classic. That's like an iconic classic movie.
Eddie Murphy is the man.
Dude, that movie is funny now. And it came
Still
out in
holds
the 80s.
up.
Dude.
Still holds up.
Out in the
I
80s.
actually didn't see that until probably like 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, man. My girl put me on to it. She was like, I can't believe you haven't watched this.
Dude, Coming to America.
I was like, put it on, and we watched it, and
Africa?
it was so good.
Hilarious.
Still holds up for sure.
Still, till this day.
So Coming to America.
How many movies I get to bring? 3?
You get 2 more.
Oh. Benjamin Button. 'Cause
Benjamin
that's my
Button?
shit. Sometimes you might need to sit back and chill. Coming to America, Benjamin Button.
That's why I ask these, because you really like I would have never in my life thought Benjamin Button would have been your decision.
Then I'd probably bring a dirty film.
A dirty film? Yeah, that's a legit answer. That's a legit answer.
If I'm going to be
By yourself
on the island,
forever?
by myself, I want to laugh. I want to get serious, and I want to relax.
Yeah, you want to relax. That's a good way to say it.
That's a real answer. I'm sorry. Little ninjas don't listen to this interview.
That's right. It's marked under explicit.
It's a real answer.
Okay, so do you read at all?
I used to. My mother used to make us read all the time.
Now, do you have a favorite book?
It's called Brown Girl in the Ring. I don't even know who the author is, but it's like a supernatural book. It's fucking horrifying. It scared me to death, and I read it in like a week.
Oh, it's supernatural?
Yeah, it's a story about this girl who's in Toronto after this fallout, and there's all kind of crazy shit going on. Like, I can't even really explain it, but it's a good
That's
book.
wild.
I can't think of it.
So Brown Girl in the Ring?
Brown Girl in the Ring. Let me see another book.
Yeah.
I'd probably bring Bruce Lee's book too, because I've read that. That would definitely come. Probably bring the Cat in the fucking Hat.
Cat in the Hat?
That's iconic.
Timeless.
Gotta stick with iconic.
That's timeless.
Shit. I mean, if you're there by yourself, you gotta think like you want to like maybe think when you were a kid and shit. Like, yeah, you grab the Cat in the Hat.
Nostalgia.
Shit.
Get on the nostalgic road. And last one is 3 musical albums.
I would definitely go with Bob Marley's Survivor.
Okay.
Jay-Z, the Black Album, and
Okay.
Dave Matthews, American Baby. Fuck
Dave Matthews.
Dave Matthews. Man, because for me, those CDs are like iconic for my moments in my life. Like,
That's literally what I
like,
said on the last podcast.
Really?
It's like whenever I listen to certain music, it just makes me think of a different time in my life. Like that
Jay-Z,
time.
the Black Album was really like when I started to like become like change and like kind of see things differently. Freaking Dave Matthews, American Baby was kind of like a metamorphosis of self as well. And Bob Marley, but Survivor is my mom's favorite one, so I listened to that a whole bunch. So I'd probably like that would just be like
That's
a Susan
legit.
type thing. So
Now, this is the most interesting question, I feel,
Okay.
and this is the last one I got for you. If you could talk to anyone in the world, alive or dead, who would it be and why? Have a conversation with anyone you could decide. That's a good question, right?
anyone, alive or dead.
Alive or dead? The first answer on the podcast was Stan Marsh from South Park.
Wait, you can take
Or Randy
fictional
Marsh.
characters?
Yeah, you can make a fictional character if you want to. But his was Randy Marsh.
shit.
That was his first answer. And then The last person I interviewed, his answer was Elon Musk. Yeah, all that fictional be in there.
I can talk to. That opens up the door way too wide. I'm gonna stick with real people because if I can ask fictional characters, it's my.
Yeah, that's a different. That's a.
I want to ask Scar, why the hell did you do it, Scar? Why'd you do it,
Scar from the Lion King?
Why, Scar? Why'd you do it? No.
Anyone in the world,
Scar.
alive or dead,
You
Scar.
had it all.
Why did you kill Mufasa?
Oh shit. Let me see if I can ask any person.
That's funny.
Shit. It's a good question.
It is. That's what makes me. That's why I think it's so interesting. It's like, who do people like? If you have one option to talk to someone, like, who would you want to sit down and talk with? It's like.
Oh, exactly. I want to sit down.
Oh,
and
yeah?
talk with.
Go ahead.
I want to sit down and talk with me at 85.
85?
Yeah, I would. If I could talk to anyone in this world at any point in time, I would want to sit down and talk with myself when I'm 85.
Yeah.
Because I know if I or like me, maybe even me as like an 18-year-old, I would want to sit there and talk because I think that'd be trippy. It'd be weird.
It would be weird.
Like it would be.
Now, would you now right now you would want to talk to yourself?
I would
want
to talk to myself when I'm 85. If I could talk to anyone, I would want to talk to the person I am when I'm 85. I would want to talk to that person and see what they told me. Like that would just be like, oh shit.
Yeah, you think about it. It's like if I would have known now.
Back
then.
And like I want to know if the old me would even tell me. Because like the way my brain is, if I was to go back in time, I wouldn't tell my old self about the shit that happened. Because I think that your experiences create and like.
That's what I was
mold
just
you.
gonna say.
Yeah, like it makes you who you are. So I don't think my old self would tell me, but he would he'd probably want to ask me some questions. You know what I mean? Like I'd be into.
Why'd you make that? Why'd you choose to do that?
Yeah, I mean, like I definitely want to. I want to talk to myself when I'm in like 50 years, basically, like 54 years, 55 years or some shit. I want to see
where you're at,
he is,
and
see
how
what
life
he
was.
does. Yeah, like if he's
That's
a
a
monk,
good answer.
whatever he does. Like,
He's a monk?
I think that would be really interesting to like talk with yourself in the future.
I think that's a good answer. Well, right here you could, plug anything you like. I'm going to have the website for the Academy under my description. You can plug your Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, the academies that I see, it's on the board. That makes it easier. Our Instagram is Pittsburgh Academy. Our Twitter is Pittsburgh Academy MMA, and the Academy Pittsburgh MMA and Fitness is where we are on Facebook. If you want to find me, you can if you type in my name, Khama Worthy, in any social media, there's like probably like one Khama Worthy. Like Khama in general, Khama.
Might not be too common of a name.
No, it's not. I mean, like, I remember on Facebook, I found there's like a couple other people. Like, who the fuck are y'all? I was mad as hell. Like, what the fuck? Like, it was kind of weird, but nah, there's So yeah, if you want any questions or anything,
Yeah, and I'll put everything under the description, and you'll be able to click a link, and it'll take you right to the Academy website, and you'll be able to see a little bit more of what Khama's doing up here and what he got going on.
Yeah, come down, check it out, man. This was fun. I'm glad I did this.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming on. I'm excited to see what goes on for you in the next coming years.
Hell yeah,
I'm
man.
sure we'll
Thank
keep in
you.
touch. Definitely be back on again, talk about some other shit.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure, definitely.
As far as everyone else, thanks for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and leave some feedback so I can know what I could do better and what I'm doing well. Follow me on social media. I'll Call You Right Back podcast on Facebook, Instagram at I'll Call You Right Back, Twitter, ICYRB podcast, or you could email me at I'll Call You Right Back at Gmail and give me any ideas, any snippets of info that you feel that I should know. And I appreciate it again for everyone listening. So I'll call you right back.